Yo, what is going on, you guys? It's your boy King Sanders here, and we are back with another day of sports betting. This is going to be for Monday, January 31st slate of NBA games. I'm super excited to hop into today's slate. But first, we always got to do a recap. So, first things first, I did just want to say we are on the road to 3,000 subscribers. I'd love to be able to hit that by Valentine's Day. That'd be a great present to me, but I can't do that without your guys' help. So if you guys are new, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. But first, let's do a quick recap of yesterday. So, weird. It's kind of weird because we can kind of look at this from two different perspectives. So if you look at it, my video picks themselves, I went 0-2. I went 0-2. We had Darius Garland over 9.5 assists versus Detroit. The game kind of got close at the end, and the Cavaliers couldn't they couldn't throw it in the Atlantic Ocean, and unfortunately, they ended up losing. So the Garland over an assist did not hit for us. And then we had the Charlotte Hornets -5 versus the Clippers. Clippers won by like 15. They won by like 15. I mean, there was literally nothing we could do about that. So it was kind of a very tough situation. But if you want to look at it from the positives, I did have one added play, and that was Luka Doncic over 8.5 assists versus the Orlando Magic. That one actually did end up cashing for us. And then we had our consensus play of the day. Our consensus play of the day actually hit. We started off 0-2 on our consensus plays, but we ended up hitting on this one. And we had the Nuggets to cover the 7-point spread. They ended up winning by 36 points. I mean, that's, that's pretty sharp. That's pretty sharp. That's all I got to say. So, technically a 2-2 day. 1-2 if you only count my video picks, and 2-2 if you count the consensus play. So, we did lose a little bit of juice overall, but nothing too terrible. So, we're going to go ahead and hop into today's plays. I found some that I'm very, very confident in, and I'm ready to turn this streak around. I've had a very rough streak, and last time that I did have a rough streak, guess what? After that rough streak, I ended up going and having a fantastic month. For the month of January, we're very profitable. If you guys want to check it out. My record is down in the description down below. But we've been very profitable, and I think that we can continue this through February, or at least to start off the February. So let's go ahead and start off this week. Let's start it off with a very good slate here, and I'm ready to hop into my plays. So without any further ado, let's do it. So our first play of the day is going to be the Grizzlies +4 versus the 76ers -115 odds. The Grizzlies, they have covered in 3 straight games against some pretty quality opponents. And it does seem like the Grizzlies are pretty healthy as of right now. It looks like the only thing is that Dillon Brooks is going to be out, and Tyus Jones looks like he's questionable. So Brooks being out doesn't really help the bet. But Tyus Jones being questionable, if he does end up playing, I do think that gives us a little bit of an edge there as a backup scorer. And then on top of that, the Grizzlies, they're absolutely fantastic on the road. I think we all know that. I've been preaching this pretty much every single video. But they are 17-7 against the spread on the road this year. And I definitely think they're going to keep this streak up against the 76ers. For the 76ers, it does look like Shake Milton is going to be out, which does take away a little bit of scoring. And Korkmaz is questionable. If he does end up getting ruled out, I love this one even more because Korkmaz, you talk about a lights-out shooter, that's him. He can absolutely light up the place. And the 76ers at home this year have been kind of disappointing for how great Joel Embiid has been playing. They are just 9-14 against the spread at home. So I really like our odds here at the Grizzlies +4 versus the 76ers. I think the spread's just a little bit too big. I think that if the spread was like 2.5 or 3, I probably wouldn't touch it. But at +4, I really like that play. So that's our first play of the day, Grizzlies +4 versus the 76ers, -115 odds. Our second play of the day is going to be the Clippers money line versus the Indiana Pacers, +105 odds. The Pacers, they've won, this is crazy stat. But in the Pacers' last 23 games, they have only won 6 of them. So they have only won 26% of their last 23 games. So I do think we have a very, very good advantage there. The Clippers, they have been really good recently. They've actually won 7 of their last 12 games. So very, very solid there. And it seems like for the Pacers, they are still going to be without Brogdon. They're still going to be without TJ McConnell. And they're still going to be without Miles Turner. So with all those injuries, I do think that it does make it a little bit easier for this Clippers team, who has been red hot. And if you look at the away games for the Clippers, they are on a road trip right now. I think it's like 8 or 9 game road trip. If you look at their last 6 road games, they are 4-2 straight up. And this is the last game on the road trip, so I do think they are going to try to make a statement before they come back home. So I really do think that we have some pretty good odds here. Clippers money line versus Pacers plus 105 odds. I just think that, you know, I do think that the Clippers end up winning outright. If you want to take the points, you definitely can. I think it's plus 1.5 right now. I did see it start to move a little bit. So, you know, if you wanted to wait a little bit, you could definitely get some more points added onto this. But I like this play, you know, all the way up to the money line. So if they do end up getting favored, I feel like it might be a trap. But regardless, I do like the play. So that is our second play of the day, Clippers money line versus Pacers plus 105 odds. And our third and final play of the day is going to be my man Fred VanVleet under 21.5 points versus the Atlanta Hawks minus 115 odds. Now I love Fred VanVleet. I'll tell you guys a quick story. At one of my old jobs that I did have, one of my coworkers that I met there, great guy, still talk to him to this day. I love him, but so he actually played against Fred VanVleet in the state championship because Fred VanVleet did grow up here in Illinois, and so my buddy, he actually played against Fred VanVleet in a state championship game, which I thought was just really cool. It's just a story that, you know, it's going to stick with me forever. I think that it's just absolutely fantastic. And he showed me this picture of like him and Fred VanVleet on the court at the same time, and it's just magic. But anyway, I do think this is a bad matchup for Fred VanVleet. He has only hit this over twice in his last 6 games, including the triple overtime game. He wasn't even able to get to that 22 points per game mark. And in the last 4, he's only hit it once. So he has been really struggling lately. Where Fred VanVleet really thrives is from the three-point line. He attempts 10 three-point shots on average per game. So he shoots a ton of threes. And Atlanta, they're really good at guarding their three-point line. If you look at it, over their last 3 games, they have given up the fewest points per game from the three-point line in the entire NBA. And they've been locking up on defense lately. They allow just the 3rd fewest points per game in the last 3 games. So they have really locked up on defense, the 3rd best defense in the last 3 games. And when it comes to the point guard position, over the month of January versus the Atlanta Hawks, only 2 point guards have hit this over, and it was D'Angelo Russell, who dropped 31, who just went absolutely ballistic, and De'Aaron Fox, who had like 24. Other than that, there has not been a single point guard that has hit this over versus the Atlanta Hawks. So I really love our odds here. Fred VanVleet under 21.5 points versus the Atlanta Hawks minus 115 odds. Now, we also did hit our consensus play, like I said, so we are 1-2 on our consensus plays, so we are looking to make it even on this one. We're looking to go 2-2. So that the game of the day is going to be the Miami Heat at the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are 3-point favorites versus the Miami Heat. And we did have 3 cappers to 2 for the Miami Heat to cover the +3. So that is our consensus play of the day. Heat +3 versus Boston. So that is going to do it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Turn on that notification bell so you guys know whenever I post. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers, so let's go ahead and start out this week really, really good. And hopefully we can hit this number by Valentine's Day. That's my goal. So, but for now, this is King Center signing out. Peace.